Alright, bell ringers, welcome to the first edition of what I like to call Booking the Biz with Breez. And this guy right here, Breez. Breez, tell me a little bit about yourself.
What's up, viewers? My name is Breez. I've been a wrestling fan since I was about 2 years old. I seen the Macho Man cut his first promo with my dad, and that's when I became a fan.
So, Breez, also, I know that you're into music as well. I was myself at one point. Tell them a little bit about your work. Give yourself a plug real quick on it.
Yeah, go check out my mixtape. It's on SoundCloud. It's called Church at Heart. It's a little different, but might be something you want to listen to. If you don't, then don't. If you do, then great.
Alright, excellent. So basically, I want to tell you guys what you're going to be seeing on this show right now. Before we even get into the bulk of the show, which is the Royal Rumble recap. You know, this weekend was the Royal Rumble and all the festivities that went down. But in this show, what you're going to be seeing, first of all, look at the setup here. I want to explain this to you guys. It's all symbolic. You look here, it's Jerry Lawler. Jerry Lawler, one of the best color commentaries of all time. Look to my right, okay, it is the one and only hardcore legend himself, Mick Foley. So we're talking hardcore commentary. Therefore, all you sensitive little pricks out there, all right, you right there, yeah, with the tissues, the Kleenex, stop watching right now. Because if you're going to get offended by anything I'm saying in this fucking sensitive world that we live in nowadays, forget about it. Don't watch this. But if you have a strong heart and you really don't care, then sit here and tune into these ruggedly handsome individuals with their melodious tones that are piping through your speakerphone right now. Now we look at the back wall here. We have the rock entertainment aspect. If you look up in the dictionary, pro wrestling, who do you see? Who do you see? Who take one guess who you see?
Ric Flair.
Bing, bing, bing. He got it right here. This guy, the Nature Boy. Woo! 16-time world champion. Kiss stealing. Wheeling and dealing. Oh yeah, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. And then over here, if you guys can see right here, the House of Hardcore, we're talking independent wrestling. So just to break that down for you right now. And on this show, there's new topics every episode. And we're going to start right now with first match on the card, Breez. What do you think? It was Asuka taking on Becky Lynch for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. There was a lot of controversy here. I just wanted your thoughts on the match itself.
Yeah, Becky Lynch, she tapped out to Asuka. So brings up a question for me personally. Should Asuka be included in the title match between Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey, or should she be a runner-up? What do you think?
Well, I look at it like this. You know, you have Becky, you have Ronda. That's already scheduled for WrestleMania. There's so many different directions right now the company can go in for this. They can book it a lot of different ways. I think that they can have a fatal four-way. They can throw Chrlotte in the mix as well as Asuka. They can have maybe a mini tournament to unify the championships, which I guess we'll talk about later on. But there's a lot of different ways that they can go with this, with Becky and Ronda, and the fact that she did tap out to Asuka. And I personally don't agree with that. I don't think that, you know, if she's trying to portray this tough image, this female version of one, say, Stone Cold Steve Austin, I don't believe that she should have been tapping out to Asuka. You know, especially she went on later on in the night, winning the Rumble. I think she should have passed out in that submission and showing that she has no quit in her. Okay, she looks very vulnerable, very weak now because of that, in my book. But they definitely have to do something in regards to that. So if Becky's going to win this title, somehow she has to get revenge on Asuka. I don't know if you agree with that or not.
I definitely agree. That's a very good point, actually. So then the next question I have is, what direction do you think WWE is going in? Because I'm sure they're aware of what you just said. Like, there's no way WWE is that oblivious to, because they're giving Becky Lynch the push as the man.
Yeah.
So, like you said, to make her look vulnerable takes away from the push. So, do you think they're trying to go in a certain direction with Asuka included in that, or you feel like it was just an oversight or a mistake?
I don't think it was a mistake. It's intentionally definitely done. Why it was done is the question. I have no clue why it was done. But maybe we'll find out later on. But I think that it's something that, you know, since it's already all said and done, you can't change it. I think maybe they did realize it was a mistake, and maybe somewhere along the lines we're going to find out, or maybe, like I said, there's a bigger picture that we don't even see yet. Maybe their plan is to make one women's champion and then one, world champion on the guy's side as well. But again, that's a discussion a little bit later on. But as far as that match goes, I thought it was a solid match, a great opening match. Becky Lynch and Asuka overall. Absolutely. Moving along here. Ah, man, I know you have some mixed feelings on this match. The tag team match between Shane McMahon and The Miz going against Cesaro and Sheamus.
Oh my gosh. First of all, Shane McMahon. Like, dude, I love you. I'm sure you're probably not going to see this. But yo, every time you get in the ring, I'm biting my nails. I'm like, how old is he? He's getting bigger, but the hair is receding. I'm scared he's going to get hurt. I'm serious. Like, every time something happens, he's about to fly across the ring and he does this. I'll be doing this too. I'll be at home like, Lord, please don't let this dude hurt himself. And he got his kids there and everything. I'm scared for him. Secondly, the match was sloppy. The Miz did his thing as usual. He's a Hall of Famer, guaranteed. But what I saw at the end was Cesaro sliding in place for Shane McMahon to hit the shooting star press. And I thought that was sloppy. And they got it on camera. You can actually go back and see Cesaro on the floor wiggling to the spot for Shane McMahon to hit the shooting star press. And I thought it was just a sloppy, ridiculous match. It shouldn't even happen.
It was terrible. Like Charles Barkley would say, it was just terrible. Sliding around on the floor, like wiggling around over there, squirming like a worm on the floor. And I didn't agree with it. First of all, just them winning the tag team titles. I mean, does that even make sense? I guess they have to go in that direction. I don't know. Tag teams are a whole other episode that we could talk about tag teams, because the tag team division, in my eyes, is ridiculous. Okay, you have 3 solid tag teams only, I think, in the whole freaking WWE right now, because they keep destroying teams like Gallows and Anderson. I'm gonna go on a tangent here. I'm gonna stop myself right here. But this match right here, I don't know, man. I don't agree with Shane and The Miz winning. I think that I don't know what their intentions are. I'm pretty sure they're gonna have a match at Mania somehow. They're gonna go against each other. What do you think? You don't think so?
No, I'm saying they probably will, but it will suck.
Yeah.
It's just going to suck. Like, why? It
doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. I mean, Shane McMahon, I don't know. I mean, my personal opinion is that he's there because he's a fan favorite, but to make him a champion, come on. There's no reason for that. If you're a real wrestling fan, you watch his matches, you see there's a little reach there. You see he gets hurt often. Like, it's scary. Like, there's no reason to make him a champion. He does take risks, and I give him mad respect for that. And I think that's why everybody else respects him. But just to be champion, like you said, there's so many tag teams that I believe are way more deserving. I don't even think the Bar should have even lost the titles. No, or maybe dropped it to someone different. Yeah,
I mean, that's another thing. You think of the Bar, I mean, you talk about, you have the Bar, you have the New Day, and then you have the Usos, all on SmackDown. And it's been like a circus with the tag team. It's been handed off to one of those 3 teams. Because why? Because they're the only teams that we see, or that WWE sees rather, that are relevant to hold those titles. But I just feel like there's more talent out there. They need to start utilizing a lot of other guys.
All right, so name 2 tag teams other than that 3 that you feel could be tag team champions.
The Revival. I mean, other than SmackDown, I'm thinking of Raw right now. I'm thinking of Revival. They've been screwed at a title. Okay. If you think you got Gallows and Anderson, they're a legit tag team. They're not thrown together like the B team was.
Right.
So, these are teams that should be up there and should do so. Whatever happened, look at Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews. That's another team right there. I think these 2 guys, like, tremendous. Although Apollo Crews himself, finally they're giving him a little bit of push. I noticed a little bit, very little smidget, okay. But he has more talent, I think, in his pinky finger than half of the roster. His agility and the way he moves and the flips that he does in that ring is tremendous.
I agree.
And Titus O'Neil's been in the business for a long time, so I think with his history and with his experience, and then Apollo Crews' agility, they could have been a great tag team. They could have been another solid contenders for the tag team titles.
Mm-hmm.
Them and, like I said, the Revival, man, who keep getting shitted on. The Ascension, there was another 2 guys that, even though their gimmick is not really, they're biting off of LOD a little bit with that gimmick, I think. Legion of Doom.
Yeah. Whatever happened to? Sorry to interrupt. Whatever happened to the Bludgeon Brothers?
That's another. Oh, thank you.
They were like real
There we
promising.
go.
They came out and dominated, and then they disappeared. It
I
reminded
think
me
it was
of the
an
Dudley
injury.
Boys.
I think it was an injury. I
Okay.
think, which we'll get into because Eric Rowan returned, as
Right.
you've seen, and I don't know where the hell they're going with this. With Eric Rowan returning and helping Daniel Bryan out defeat AJ Styles, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. As far as this match goes, man, what do you give it? I mean, the thumbs up, thumbs down for me.
I give it 2 thumbs down.
That's it. Breez said it. 2 thumbs down for this match, and I wasn't a big fan. But I was a fan of the next match, and what I thought possibly stole the show. It was Ronda Rousey taking on Sasha Banks. And before I even go on about this match, I want your thoughts. I want to know what you think.
First of all, Ronda Rousey is legit. I remember in the match. Now, again, I pay attention to these matches. If you really look, there's a point where she says, "Yeah, I don't think I can wrestle. I'll show you wrestling." And she did the what? The 3 amigos on Sasha Banks, right? And most people were thinking, oh, you know, she may not be able to wrestle. I feel like she proved that she's a real wrestler.
She's a contender.
That right? She trained for real. She's a real wrestler. You know, they're not really. Hopefully, they're not trying to make her like the female Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Because she proved she could wrestle. It was a great match. Sasha Banks,
She's the
as
boss,
usual,
baby.
she always did her thing. You know, only thing when my wife and I was watching it, she said, and y'all tell me what y'all think. Like, subscribe, comment in the comments section. But basically, she was saying when Ronda Rousey first came out, she should have just slapped Sasha Banks with the belt, just to prove how like badass she is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then at the end, my wife was saying Sasha Banks should have just slapped her in the face instead of them
that's a good point.
shaking hands and you're a great competitor. I'm a great competitor. We're both great competitors. Like no man, like if you trying to
That's the Breez we need.
If you
We want the old Breez back.
if you trying to be like the Becky Lynch, or if Becky Lynch is the bar right now, then everybody needs to act like the same way she acts, in a sense that you act like you're not all buddy all the time. Like that's this new generation. Now you don't have to be buddy in the ring. If I was Sasha Banks and I lost and she put her hand out and slapped her in the face, and I would have been like, this ain't over. I could have got another title match maybe.
Yeah, and that could have set it up, but for some reason, I don't know why. That's a good point that your wife brought up, because the fact is that Ronda is supposed to be this feared competitor that's coming from an actual real fighting environment and is going into now WWE, and she was acting with this whole build-up with Sasha Banks like a scared little bitch. Pretty much straightforward. Just scared. Okay, running away with Sasha, like you said, she's great, she's praising her, but in all reality, she should have been stone-faced Ronda, like she's always been, and just delivered. And just smacked her like she said with that belt. That would have been a great way to start the match, get it underway, and the match that they had itself was just phenomenal.
Absolutely.
I think it was a lot of technical wrestling. It was submission holds. It was a classic like wrestling match.
Absolutely.
As you've seen, but it was tough, man. It was intense because they both, you could see it, the facial expression. They both had animosity towards each other. They made it feel real, regardless. They made it feel believable, and I really actually believe that there's some heat going on between both of them, because it's competition. It's competitive. You want to be the best. Everybody wants to be the best. Okay, but there can only be one. And this night, it was Ronda Rousey, and surprisingly by a pinfall, which shocked me. But I don't think you can take anything away from Sasha Banks in this match.
I agree. I feel like my last point on it is I feel like they're pushing Ronda Rousey to be kind of like a female Brock Lesnar. I feel like they should try to push her to be like the Attitude Era Triple H. I'm talking about Triple H that was faking snake bites, you know, and coming from the crowd with a sledgehammer, you know, like if you're supposed to be that looked at as that bad, you got to have the attitude all the time. You can't be, coming out and
you're
are
right.
you okay? I know I hurt you, but are you okay? That throws me off. For me, that throws me off because then I'm like, ooh, you see that move she made? Yeah, that was bad. But then when she go and be like, are you okay? I'm like, no, Ronda, you don't know that. That's if she's okay.
Yeah, like, why are you asking?
Yeah.
Like, yo, listen, you're right, and that's a true statement right there. I think that Ronda should have that whole demeanor, like, straight through, and she shouldn't change. She should not change who she is, what the world that she came from. And I don't know which, again, it's another direction. I don't know where they're going to go with it, but I'm pretty sure that, I'm almost 100% sure that she's dropping that belt to Becky or whoever at WrestleMania, because she plans on going on a hiatus of some sort, maybe to start a family, whatever like that. But again, this is what happens. And there's a lot of people that knock Ronda, though, that knock her for, the fact that, oh, well, she's not a wrestler, and they gave her too much credit. McMahon just gave her the title right away to hold it. I mean, do you see what she's doing in the ring? What channel? What show are you guys watching? The people out there that's saying this, I want to know. Because I'm sitting in my living room and I'm watching WWE. That's what I'm watching. You're watching some other fucking television that I don't know what they're watching right there. I have no clue in my mind what you're watching. Because if you're watching the same product I'm watching, you're going to see Ronda Rousey as a natural athlete. She has natural ability, and you can see it. Just the maneuvers. And she hasn't even perfected, everything yet. But the sell job that she did in that ring with that arm, I really felt that her arm was hurt. I was concerned sincerely in that ring when she was holding her arm. And and there's not a lot of guys and girls on that roster that can sell like Ronda Rousey. And on top of it, like you said, the psychology part, the fact that she did what Eddie Guerrero used to do, and we all know Eddie Guerrero is Sasha Banks' idol, her role model. So she pretty much an indirect slap in the face by doing those three amigos to Sasha Banks, almost getting the third one down to Sasha broke it up. But it was a great match overall. Probably one of the best matches of the night, I think, in my book.
Agreed.
But from there, we went on to the Rumble. And I gotta say this, what do you think? I gotta ask you this. I forgot to ask you in the beginning. What did you think of the setup of the Rumble? The way they set it up. Like, it was different. They didn't have, the normal big Tron and everything like that. It was just the stage. It was very basic, right?
I think that they've gone into the era of smash mouth wrestling. And I think, could thank your boy CM Punk for that. Wherever you are. Daniel Bryan, who used to say, I'm a very good wrestler. Right? He used to say that often. So I think people are more into wrestling, than like just all of that speculation. But one thing I did see, although they didn't have like the big Tron and all of that, they did have segments where people were able to showcase who they are. Like the first lady's name who came out first?
Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans came out.
Lacey Evans came out. She danced around the ring. I saw a lot of that. I saw a lot of wrestlers get a chance to do non-verbal promos, if you will. So even though they didn't have the big Trons, I saw a lot of people do non-verbal promos.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. I see, and I agree with that too. But I thought that overall, the entrance, what I thought, it's different. It's a good different. It was more simple, but it reminded me, and that's one thing I miss. I miss the fact that like they used to have special setups for every event, every month. Mm-hmm. Maybe they can't do it now because they oversaturated the whole year with events. But I think that every event had its own uniqueness about it, so to speak. It was like Armageddon. They had the whole crazy setup, whatever it was that they did, and it was just different. And I think that they should go back to something like that because the only time of the year that we see a different stage is WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. But we need to start seeing that at every event again. That's what I believe. It's little things like that bring that nostalgia back, but also it makes each event special in its own way. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Like Elimination Chamber, there should be chains and cages or whatever like that lined up, which is the next pay-per-view, but we'll see what they do then. But other than that, the Rumble, man, the Rumble was the Women's Rumble. I thought was better than the Men's Rumble overall. I mean, what do you think about it? What did you think about the Women's Rumble?
Before I get there, who was your favorite to win the Women's Rumble?
Listen, I called this, and I even called it on the other show. I said that it was going to be some way, somehow, if Becky Lynch finagles her way into this matchup, she's going to win this match. And I said that last week, and she did it. And if it wasn't Becky, it was Chrlotte. It was one of those two ladies. I don't know who'd you have in mind. Who did you have in mind?
I wanted anybody who was black to win.
And there you have it, folks. Any black female to win. That's it.
Nah, I'm just playing with y'all viewers.
That's racist.
But the person who I've really been looking at, who I really wish would win, Ember Moon.
Ember Moon's
Poor
talented.
Ember Moon was taking a beating last night. She was getting. If you go back and watch, if you can, right? She was getting beat up. Anytime someone came in the ring, she was the one getting beat up. And I feel like she's a phenomenal athlete. She reminds me of Apollo Crews a lot, actually.
Yeah, but you're right. And I think that's the reason why. Because she's a phenomenal athlete. Because, like, she not only makes herself look good, but she puts over everybody else. And that's why everybody, I feel like, wants to, maybe wanted to go after her or target her because their spot in the match may be, more noticeable because she'll put them over even more.
Mm-hmm.
You never know. I mean, Amber Moon's a tremendous hand, but and then we've seen two other ladies which I had no completely. Canales, I forgot her name, Maria Canales, and Alicia Fox. That segment in that ring, you remember that?
I do.
It made zero sense. I have no clue what was going on in the minds of both of those ladies or the WWE, whoever orchestrated that little segment right there. But as you can see in the match, Charlotte Flair did not even pay attention. She was continuing to pummel her opponent in that ring, and I just got up. I took a bathroom break at that point.
Yeah, Alicia Fox going on the floor, throwing a temper tantrum because of a hat that Maria could not even stomp in was ridiculous. She stomped the hat and nothing happened. And then Alicia Fox started doing some weird thing on the floor, which is a waste of a talent. I mean, Alicia Fox, I don't know. What do you think of Alicia Fox, honestly, before I even finish?
Let me tell you, Alicia, again, I think, you know what? A lot of people do hate on her too, though. But here's the thing. Alicia Fox is not the greatest athlete. But the one thing that she can do better than a lot of the females is sell.
And drop kicks.
And drop kicks. And sell.
And drop kicks.
And sell.
And drop kicks.
That's it. So now that we came to that conclusion and just confirmed that, so Alicia Fox is good for something at least. She's good for putting people over because she takes a beating like no other female in that roster. So if you ever want to get any talent over, Alicia Fox is pretty much a glorified enhancement talent. That's what she is.
Yeah, she's like Funaki.
number one announcer, Funaki. Alicia is the number one jobber. Excuse me, that's just a terrible word in the business of pro wrestling. Enhancement talent. Yes. And that's what I think of Alicia. But what do you think? What are you saying about her?
Now, that's that for that. But as far as the Royal Rumble is concerned, I think it was an excellent Royal Rumble. There was so many women in there whose names I can't remember, but they were all great. I mean, like you said, I think it was better than the men's Royal Rumble. I feel like the women have tightened their wrestling skills.
Yeah.
I don't know who to thank for that. I feel like we should thank Stephanie McMahon. But they have really tightened their wrestling skills. It was not sloppy at all. It was great. Minus that Alicia Fox and Maria Canales segment, it was a great females Royal Rumble.
And you know what I like too, because I think about Royal Rumble, my favorite event of the year personally, I like when the ring gets filled up. And there's a whole bunch of people just beating the hell out of each other. And that's what I seen in the women's Rumble match. The ring got kind of filled. And the women were just going at each other. And it's the best and it's straightforward. Okay, I'm a guy. So straightforward with you guys. Like, yeah, you have a couple sexy women beating the hell out of each other. I'm going to be watching. Definitely, you got me hook, line, sinker, my man. That's it. But other than that, either way, we can't look at it only as for that sex appeal because they are tremendous athletes.
I got a question about that. Now, I'm married, so I'm not trying to say anything crazy.
I'm pretty much married, yeah.
But do any of you, and I'm going to ask you, ever feel like the WWE cameras pan to the female wrestler's butt like at least 3 times in the match? Like every match, if you watch Monday Night Raw even on Monday, every match, I feel like they panned to Bayley's butt at least 3 times. What do you think?
Well, I think, listen, you can't blame the cameraman. The guy's been holding the camera so long, he has to, drop it a little bit, the wrist. You get a lot of things, like carpal tunnel maybe be setting in. And the guy maybe having, what I'm saying, it just pans out a little bit.
You think that's the reason?
Yeah, it gotta be. There's no other reason. Okay. Bayley especially, there's no other reason.
Oh, man.
But,
that's terrible.
Yeah, but Bayley is a tremendous athlete. I gotta say that. Yes, the boss hug connection. I love both of them, and my wife hates the fact that I love Sasha Banks a lot. But it's not only because she is a pretty woman, but it's because of the fact that, mainly because of the fact that her ring performance. Honestly, the way that she conducts herself in that ring, and she conducts herself as a boss in that ring. And Bayley is, the same thing with Bayley. We've seen her performance in the Rumble too. She almost won it. I think she came down to the Final 4. Almost Bayley, right? And the Bayley's another hell of an athlete who I think honestly got a little bit, she had an injury, but she got a little bit shitted on ever since coming up from NXT to the main roster. Because NXT, she was doing phenomenal work in main eventing different shows. But, other than that, the Women's Rumble itself, I knew that it was going to be Becky. So I got a question here. Becky Lynch coming into the Rumble, the way that she entered the Rumble, what did you think about that? Do you think it was perfect? Do you think it was done right, or do you think it could have been done differently?
I thought it was good actually because, like that shock factor that I believe WWE tries to keep, or at least I hope they're trying to keep. So I thought Lana was gonna get up and get in the ring, and that was gonna be a testament to, who she is and her push. But then next thing you know, Becky comes out of nowhere, the crowd goes crazy, and then she comes in. So yeah, I thought it was done pretty good. I thought that piece right there was pretty good.
I gotta disagree. Here because I'm gonna tell you why. First of all, the shock factor, I think, was I think everybody kind of had a hunch that Becky somehow was gonna finagle her way into this Rumble. But even if you didn't, she just tapped out to Asuka. You're going to have her walking down with her head held high, going in, no words exchanged, and you have Fit Finlay over there, who, I don't know if you know him or not, people know him or not, but just pretty much telling her to go, and she's going in, she's telling everybody she's going to the Rumble. I think it should have been done way differently. I think when Lana on the aisle and Becky Lynch was in the backstage, I think they should have, maybe somebody else, maybe not Finlay, maybe Stephanie McMahon or something, should have been talking to her saying, you know what, you should maybe, we need you out there. We need you, and like hyping her up a little bit because she was down about tapping out, and then getting herself hyped up, the fans going nuts, bananas, and then Becky coming in into the ring like that. I think that could have been the way. I think that should have been the way that they conducted that, but they didn't. But either way you put it, now Becky's in the ring. What'd you think at that point? Did you know for sure she was going to win that Rumble?
No, I thought. Like I said, Ember Moon was my favorite, but I didn't think she was going to win. I thought maybe Nia Jax, because Nia Jax has been dominating everything. She's having a heck of a few months. She's really dominating. So I thought maybe Nia Jax they were gonna throw a switch in there and not make it so predictable.
Maybe that's true. Maybe like Becky and Charlotte going out.
Right, and have Nia Jax win, or maybe Charlotte.
Yeah, something different. But in my eyes, I knew wholeheartedly. I knew it had to be Becky. It had to be. If she didn't enter that Rumble, it was going to be Charlotte in my eyes, because that's just what WWE has been doing. And who are they going to put in WrestleMania? Charlotte, right now, she's pretty much on that level where she's untouchable. That's how I feel. I feel like she can lose a match. It doesn't matter. It's not going to take any credibility away from her. So, putting her in a match at Mania, they're going to want to still keep her as the main attraction, Charlotte. But then now you have Becky in, and she's over like crazy with the fans. Okay? I'm about to get a shirt. It says the man. Okay? That's it. I'm walking around. But
I feel like Charlotte is the best wrestler on the whole women's roster, both Raw and SmackDown. Hands down. Her wrestling is solid. There's no one I see who's better than her.
Yeah.
Like someone may agree, oh no, that's not true. She's not the best, but who's better than her at wrestling? You can't name nobody.
She's better than some of the guys.
Right. You can't name anybody. Matter of fact, she trained Sasha Banks for her match with Ronda Rousey.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. So you learned something every day. She
Yeah.
trained. At the performance center.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I seen that little package deal. I think also, she was also, they also mentioned my local indie organization, House of Glory, Amazing Red over there, and helping out Sasha Banks with some of the moves and getting ready for her match as well. So yeah, she had a lot of training, man, and it showed though. It showed in that match against Ronda. But now going to the Rumble, as far as you said with Chrlotte, I think you're right, and I think it's not only because she has the genes of the nature boy. Woo! Ric Flair, we're talking about 16-time world champion. And you think of Flair too, in the greatest Rumble in my eyes. Yeah, he's doing it right there. Nate, the greatest Rumble in my eyes has to be the 1992 Royal Rumble, where Ric Flair won the title. And I know I'm segueing crazy right now, but I'm thinking Chrlotte, and I'm thinking Flair, and I see the shirt back there, and I'm going to tell y'all, with a tear in my eye, Becky Lynch won that Rumble. It was the greatest moment of the night. I don't know, not for me, for most of you guys out there, mostly everybody. I still think the greatest moment of the night was Sasha and Ronda. But we got to move along here. That was the Rumble. I thought it was solid, better than the guys' Rumble, which we'll get to shortly. But what do you give it? You give it the 2? You give it the
2 thumbs up.
Bang!
Guaranteed.
I got 2 thumbs as well. That's it for the Rumble. But it was the match after that where I thought was going to steal the show. I thought was going to maybe be on that same level as Sasha and Ronda. And that was AJ. AJ and Daniel Bryan. But I was disappointed. I don't know. What did you think of AJ and Daniel?
I wasn't disappointed. It just, that match weirded me out. Like, it wasn't technical. It was kind of like a brawl.
Yeah, which is like a street fight.
Yeah, it was like a brawl. And Daniel Bryan, man, he made AJ Styles look bad. I mean, AJ Styles is a phenomenal athlete. He's a phenomenal performer. But, like, beginning of the match, he's bleeding. He looks out of breath a little bit.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan was really taking it to him. And I feel like that made AJ Styles look bad. It made Daniel Bryan look like the aggressor that he's saying that he is.
Well, I mean, at least because he's saying that he is, and he's showing you it. But you're right. I think at that point that it did make AJ look a little weaker than what he's supposed to be. I mean, you seen what happened with Vince and AJ. Like, he wanted that AJ Styles to come out and tested AJ, and then AJ slapped the hell out of McMahon. Okay, and but after that slap, I haven't seen anything.
Right.
For where?
Right.
Where I'm still searching.
So that brings me to a question with WWE.
Yeah.
Because this seems like a reoccurring theme. Do you feel like they will start to build something up and then it just fizzles out into nothing?
Oh God, say that one more time. That's a valid statement. Say it again.
Do you feel like
say it with your chest, Breez.
Do you feel like they build things up or people up and then it fizzles into nothing? Because you're right. He was saying that. Even when Vince McMahon was on the floor with that smile on his face, I was thinking like, oh yeah, it's about to be something.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, only thing that happened was a half-decent promo.
Yeah, it was BS. And I'll tell you right now, it's because at this point, I feel like they're scrambling. I feel like they don't know which direction to go to please everybody because there's a lot of negativity flowing in the direction of WWE. People are not happy. And now, especially more than ever, that there's options. You have All Elite Wrestling coming out. Their first official show, May 25th, Las Vegas, Nevada, Double or Nothing. All Elite, that's going to be the next WCW, but better because it's ran more efficient. And it's backed by, again, a billionaire. So they got the funds and the resources. People are jumping ship. Fucking Dean Ambrose, news is just broke. Dean Ambrose is leaving WWE.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's leaving after Mania. It's official. WWE sent a statement out. So he might be going to this organization. And I think because of that, them knowing, and they came on public television to say that, you know what, we understand, you've been unhappy, but we're gonna make you happy. We're gonna make wrestling great again in the WWE. But I haven't seen nothing yet. I've seen bits, drizzle here, there, and there. That's it. That's all I've seen. Little bits and pieces of that. I haven't seen anything substantial yet. And the storylines, like you said, keep fizzling away because they don't know where to go. They got to be consistent. They're not consistent.
I agree.
That's the problem.
I agree.
But that match, I agree with you on that one. It just weirded me out as well because I got up. I'm gonna tell you guys right now. I got up, make my popcorn for that match. I went to the bathroom, took another leak, poured myself another glass of water. Okay, because I'm not drinking. That's some high quality H2O I drink. Top of the line, premier. Okay, high quality H2O. Sat down again, and we're still in the chop fest between Daniel Bryan and AJ, and then that's it. Eric Rowan comes running in, and I was completely baffled. Breez, I was just flabbergasted. Where's it going? What do you think now? Where do you think it's going?
I have no idea. Honestly, I mean, I try to think through this, and I try to think about it a little bit, and I started wondering, like, what happened to the Bludgeon Brothers? As soon as I seen Eric Rowan, I was like, the Bludgeon Brothers! Yeah. But then there was no Luke Harper. So I'm like, what's going on here? Why is Eric Rowan out here with Daniel Bryan when the Bludgeon Brothers emergence fizzled? Like, it was never finished.
It never was. I think
what happened?
Due to injuries, though. But at the same time, wouldn't you want to bring that? You're trying to revitalize your whole tag team division. Why wouldn't you bring them back? Why wouldn't you put them back and just have them join it? Why? Now, what's going on? Daniel Bryan has disciples now. What is he supposed to be, like the modern day Jesus Christ? Daniel Bryan, God forgive me. But like, what is he doing?
Now, so what I'm thinking, I think it would be good for them to go in the direction of when Luke Harper gets better, right? He's injured, right?
Yeah, I believe
when Luke Harper gets better, bring him on board, and then he has like an entourage. I think entourages have always been successful in WWE. You look at all the entourages in the 90s, right? Yeah. You look at the entourages in the 2000s. You look at
DX, the Nation.
Right. You look at even the Miz when he had the B team, right? That was an entourage. Then they became
the Miz-tourage.
Right, the Miz-tourage. They became tag team champions. Like, I feel like having an entourage is always helpful. So I think if he goes in that direction as a heel,
NWO 4 Horsemen,
right? Yeah. If Daniel Bryan goes, if they're taking it in that direction, I think that'll be okay. But they didn't really talk much about it after the Rumble. It's just there. Like, you don't know what's gonna happen.
I guess they're throwing things out there to see what sticks. That's what it feels like to me. I feel like they're giving us things, and then they're seeing how we respond to it. And if we like it, they're going to keep it. If not, they're taking it away. 'Cause they don't know what to do. They're scrambling. That's what I believe. But again, I want to see how this unfolds with Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan. But this match, in my book, I can't give it a 2 thumbs up on this one. I wasn't happy. I thought it was the worst match of the night, and that's surprising when you talk about Daniel and AJ.
Nah, I can't say the worst match.
I gotta say,
you say the worst match?
The worst match of
worse
the night.
Than wiggling on the floor to get in your position?
Oh.
Worse than that?
Yeah, no, you're right. I can't. All right, you got me there. I can't, because the tag team match was horrendous. But, yeah, okay, the second worst match of the night. How about that? Yeah, that takes just a prestigious second place of the worst match of the night. So, yeah, I wasn't too happy about it. That's it.
I give it 1 thumb up, 1 thumb down. Because it was they don't have to be fast paced. I can understand maybe they were trying to move away from that, but it was very slow paced. It wasn't necessarily technical. It was more just, like I said earlier, a brawl. And then you throw Eric Rowan comes out of nowhere, and you're like, what's going on here? Like, we expected an epic finish, and I don't know.
I never seen people getting up going to the bathrooms during an AJ Styles match. I never, and I seen it this night. And we just that's what blew my mind.
Maybe he getting old.
Nah, AJ Styles, man, come on. The phenomenal one.
He got a beard now. He might be getting old.
I got a beard. Am I old? Because I got. Listen, I'm maybe ruggedly handsome.
AJ Styles was what in TNA in what year? 08? 07?
Yeah, it's been a while, but yeah, okay, but he's still doing things that a lot of guys can't do. So yeah, getting old has nothing to do with his performance in the ring. Age is a number, okay? Because look, I'm younger than him. I'm 31. I get in the ring, I can't even go off the rope right. I'll be flopping around like a fish out of water. That's it.
He looked bad though. He did not look as good as I know AJ Styles. Even when he faced Brock Lesnar, he looked tougher.
Yeah, he did.
Than when he faced Daniel Bryan.
How they making Daniel Bryan look like the Beast incarnate himself?
I don't know.
Brock Lesnar. And speaking of Brock Lesnar, and I'm glad you brought him up because the next match was Lesnar and Finn Balor. Before I even go on what I got to say about this match, I got to get your thoughts. Breez, please tell me what you thought of this match and what you thought of everything as a total.
It was mediocre.
Mediocre?
One, it scares me that every time Brock Lesnar comes out now, it's just quiet. It seemed like people are more interested in Paul Heyman than Brock Lesnar. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, you know what?
I'm just saying.
It's quiet because nobody wants to cheer a per diem champion. The guy is there when he wants to be, okay, it's Monday, I'll go to Raw today. Why not? I got nothing going on. I got the title, but I got nothing else going on. I'm not even going to defend it. I'm just going to show up. I'm going to look funny and big and brolic and that's it, just walk away. What do you think of Lesnar? I don't like that. I don't like that per diem champ attitude that he has.
So let's go back to Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman once said, he gave a great analogy actually, and I believed it. It worked at first. He said, let's think about Christmas. If Christmas came every day, it would take the greatness out of how people celebrate the holiday Christmas. So you have Brock Lesnar come around less than he should because it's like a box office hit and all this other things. That was cool the first year, but now we going into how many years later and it's still this. No, this Christmas as an adult is way different from Christmas as a kid.
And hold on, I gotta say this while we talk about Christmas. You cannot correlate Brock Lesnar and Christmas, goddammit. Because Christmas is magical. Christmas, I can open up I'm still running. I know what I got already. I'm an adult. I'm still running to the tree to open it up. Okay? Okay, I do that. But I'm also enjoying the fact that it's Christmas and I'm having a little spiked eggnog maybe. Okay? It's a magical time. It's a time for giving. Okay? Brock Lesnar doesn't give a shit. He doesn't give anything. That's it. So what does he give? You cannot correlate Lesnar with Christmas. It's not. He doesn't give zero. He gives zero. Zero fucks about the goddamn title. Excuse me, I can't even talk. And the business. That's how I think.
See?
So please use another analogy.
See? You got him cursing now.
Now I'm worked up.
So, but Paul Heyman was the one who gave that analogy.
Yeah.
And I was trying to make the point that you can use that analogy at first. Like, yes, as a kid you get excited about Christmas, but after a while when it's kind of the same routine every year, it's like, okay, even that tends to get old after a while. That's why usually when kids get a little older, Christmas may not seem as exciting. So I said all of that to say, Brock Lesnar came out, people didn't look that excited. When Heyman said, "My name is Paul Heyman," everybody repeated after him and kind of cheered. But when it came to Lesnar, it was just quiet. So I mean, I think they need to do something new. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. You asked me about the match.
Yeah.
The match itself, I don't know how to call this match. I mean, I didn't expect Finn Balor to win. There was no way he was going to win. I was thinking the only way he could win is if they were thinking, he lost the Universal title. He was the first one. He only had it one day due to injury. Maybe they'll make him the champion again. But then I started thinking, there's no way Brock Lesnar is going to drop his title to Finn Balor.
Why not? Why can't you see it?
They don't believe in small wrestling. Brock Lesnar, I don't feel, believes that he should drop his title to a smaller wrestler.
And so that statement, McMahon obviously he's on the record. McMahon's and it's been stated that he's a body guy. He likes big guys, pause. Okay,
he likes big body guys.
He's just like, I don't know. His finger's not up his alley or whatever like that. But Shawn Michaels wasn't. But look what Michaels did.
Yeah, but Shawn Michaels won from Bret Hart though, and those were two very evened wrestlers. Brock Lesnar's 300 and something odd pounds, and Finn Balor's like 180 something or 200 and he might be 210.
Might be 2 and change somewhere.
Like come on, there's a 100-pound difference. What are you gonna do with a 100-pound difference?
But he has the agility and the speed over Lesnar.
So he can't even pick him up. That's a problem. There's no way in the match he even tried to pick up Lesnar. He was doing all these knees and running around. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying, nah, that I couldn't see that happening. I don't know how to call this match though. I feel like it went exactly the way I thought it was gonna go. You know, how all of Brock Lesnar's matches go now. Someone's gonna bring it to him, then Brock Lesnar's gonna give them a couple of suplexes, and then they're gonna do something. Brock Lesnar acts like he's injured, then he comes out of nowhere and like beasts out and like throws them all across the ring and gives them an F5, and that's the end of it. You know, the only smaller wrestlers that was great with Brock Lesnar was AJ Styles, great match. Daniel Bryan, I feel, was the greatest. That was a great match right there.
Yeah, no, it was. I believe it was a Survivor Series, right?
Daniel Bryan is not looked at as Finn Balor because Daniel Bryan does things. He's more aggressive.
Yeah, but do you think it's because WWE has been just literally shitting on Finn all this time that you can't really get behind or can't have any faith in the guy?
I don't know.
Or it's just because you don't think he has talent?
What's not? He's
talented.
He's ridiculously talented, but it's just...
Yeah, but all right, there is a size difference. Lesnar, in real life, if you want to put it like that, you know, you would assume Lesnar's going to total like domination and just destroy him. But then again, you never know. They talk about the David and Goliath story, all that other jazz, but I think that you look at Finn Balor and his performance, the actual match itself, the match shocked me from jump. Finn going right after Lesnar, like, as soon as the bell rang.
Right.
Threw Lesnar off guard. And that's what he had to do. So he was going after him, and I thought it was a great match. I thought overall, because of the fact that, you know, Finn's wrestling ability and agility, and then the Beast tossing him around, not only is it going to look good, it's going to sell good, but it's going to make for, after seeing, like you said, Daniel and Lesnar, and now seeing Finn and Lesnar, it's going to make for a great match, I think.
Come on, man. I disagree. Like, I feel like
why?
I feel like all of these matches are becoming all of Brock Lesnar's matches are becoming exactly the same. Didn't Samoa Joe do the same thing? He came right after Brock Lesnar. Didn't Roman Reigns do the same thing? Came right after Brock Lesnar, caught him off guard. Everyone's pretty much, like, when it comes to Brock Lesnar, his matches are pretty much the same, and it goes just like this. Now, viewers, let me know in the comment section, like, subscribe, and let me know if I'm wrong. This is what happens in the Brock Lesnar matches nowadays. Someone comes at him, catches him off guard, right? Everyone's, oh my gosh, he got him stunned. Brock Lesnar's stunned. Brock Lesnar gives him a suplex. Right?
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, Brock Lesnar gets hurt by himself somehow because no one else could really hurt him. So, like, just like with Finn Balor,
with that diverticulitis,
right. He got hit in the stomach, right? And then all of a sudden, he beasts out and wins the match. I don't know.
First of all, that was great selling on Lesnar's part. Secondly, yeah, I can agree with that a little bit because it kind of seems like the same routine with Lesnar. But I think that at this stage, there's nothing that Lesnar can do that is going to let the fans like love the guy or want him to be there or be champion.
There's nothing at all.
You disagree?
He needs to become the old Brock Lesnar. I'm talking about 2012. That's not really old because he was in 2002. Yeah. But 2012 Brock Lesnar, when he came through and threw John Cena all across the ring and was spitting all over the place and stuff like that, he don't do that no more. Now
he doesn't care enough.
He sells matches more to smaller wrestlers, except with Daniel Bryan. Like I said, Daniel Bryan did something.
It was a squash match in the beginning.
Daniel Bryan did something that I didn't see other wrestlers did. He was walking around the ring, laughing, mocking Brock Lesnar. I thought that was dope because I'm like that really shows that he's brave, right? Everybody else, Samoa Joe, Roman Reigns, and then everyone who's smaller, it seemed like he's selling the match a little more, and he's not being portrayed as the same Brock Lesnar that came in 2012 when it was really throwing blows at each other for real.
Yeah.
It's totally different.
No, it is different, but I also think that's because Lesnar doesn't take it. I feel like he doesn't take it serious enough. I really don't. I think, who are you going to have to go against Lesnar now? He destroyed everybody on the roster, pretty much. They allowed him to destroy everybody. So who are you going to put against him, man? Who's going to beat him now? Now, you know, and we're going to get up to the Rumble momentarily, but yeah, who do you have left to fight Lesnar and fight him? Because he's going from WWE to UFC, back to WWE to UFC. back to WWE, and now he's going again.
They need to start pushing people who could really go toe to toe with him. Like Bobby Lashley, I think would be
Lashley. That's a great
person.
Yeah,
because
Lashley's bigger than Lesnar.
He did UFC.
Yeah,
right. He manhandled. If you watch Raw, he manhandled Finn Balor.
Yeah,
right on Raw the same way Brock Lesnar did.
Lashley.
Oh, I can't stand Leo Rush. Oh
no,
my gosh.
Leo Rush, man. House of Glory exclusive. That was good.
Yeah, he's a great wrestler, but that laugh is annoying. You gotta stop that.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, so Lashley, I feel like Drew McIntyre needs to be pushed big time. I feel like that would be a good match.
Drew McIntyre, for real, man. He's gonna be the man, I think, of this year.
Baron Corbin, I think.
Nah, man, Corbin?
Yeah.
That guy is trash. I don't like Corbin at all.
What?
I don't like Corbin.
So, but I'm just saying, there's so many different guys that need to be getting bigger pushes.
Yeah, no, you're right on that one.
And I feel like it would allow Brock Lesnar to be himself in a match rather than have to now start selling it more.
Okay, yeah, I see your point now. You want Lesnar to be the beast. You want him to be himself, like you just said, and just dominate and just do what he does.
Yeah.
And stop looking weaker just to make the other guy go over.
Right.
So yeah, but if you're gonna do that, and I think they should do something along the lines of this. If Lesnar's gonna lose that belt and go on to the UFC, why not have his last match with the WWE a legit UFC fight at WrestleMania? Lesnar, Lashley. UFC fight, legit UFC fight. What do you think? I think it's great.
That would be a good match. And it doesn't even have to be like a legit UFC match. It could just have some UFC, what's the word?
Aspects to it?
Yeah, aspects to it.
Like a lot of grappling and floor. And listen, the only negative out of that whole situation is if Lesnar gets his ass beat by Lashley, he's going to look real weak in the UFC, and they're not going to be able to push the UFC's promotion. So it has to be, I guess, fixed to some degree.
Yeah.
But there should be a couple real shots thrown in that match. I think it should be like half real, half fake. That would be great.
But that's what I'm saying. When in 2012, when Lesnar fought Cena, there was real blows thrown at each other. Thrown at each other, right? Same thing when he fought Triple H. But then those are the dudes that could take it. But then when it came to like the
stiff wrestling, what they call really,
and with Roman Reigns as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then when it came to like the smaller wrestlers, it was like more of selling, and I feel like that takes away from who he is because he wasn't built.
That's true.
Think about it. Brock Lesnar, the wrestler himself, he's not built on his talking skills. He's not built on his in-ring skills too much. It's that he's a beast that dominates.
Exactly.
And he does not dominate anymore. So it's like if you're gonna be a per diem wrestler, you gotta at least dominate when you come.
Yeah, you know? I mean, you gotta have something about you. Yeah, I mean, you gotta have like your thing, and his thing was domination. Like, and to have, I guess he's also trying to put them over as well. Because listen, reality is this: Lesnar, as Heyman wants to promote it as he's an attraction. That's what it is, really. But then if he's an attraction, I don't feel like he should hold the belt. Don't feel like it. I mean, the match overall between him and Balor, I thought was great. I thought it was a good match. Regardless of what do you think it was alright? 2 thumbs. I give it the 2 thumbs right here.
With him and Balor?
Him and Balor, yeah, at Rumble.
I don't know how to call that match still. I mean, it was...
Hey, listen, you got your opinion. Listen, don't be afraid here. This is the show.
I'm not afraid. It's just... I don't know. It just seemed too predictable. It seemed very predictable to me.
Well, you know why? Because this has been the story. But I'll be honest with you. I got to disagree. I actually felt at one point in that match that maybe Finn had a shot. I thought maybe he had a shot to beat Lesnar.
Nah, I didn't.
No
way.
All right. Hey, listen. This is what it is. You state yours. This is why wrestling's so great. It's subjective. What I think, what he thinks, doesn't matter. There's no right answer.
At the same time, this goes back to that thing about the storylines fizzling out because you have Vince McMahon mess up the whole David and Goliath story on purpose, right? To make it seem like Goliath crushed David on Raw like a week or 2 before, and then that was supposed to be the build up for Finn Balor to be the David to defeat Brock Lesnar.
But wait a minute, but Balor proven himself in that match and came out victorious. And he took it to Strowman the following week. Yes, he may have failed to Brock, but he put up a hell of a performance. Excuse me, I'm mumbling, stuttering motherfucker over here. But he put up a performance at the Royal Rumble.
Right.
And,
but my point in saying that though is doing that made it seem like he could have went over on Brock. Like, why build that up so much unless it was just for the pay-per-view? Why build it up so much and then have him lose? Like, and then he got destroyed afterwards. It's like, so then, like, it makes it seem like what Vince McMahon said on that Raw was right the whole time, even though he did take it to Strowman.
You're right, and I think that this is what they're still trying to build and keep Brock at the level that he's at until Mania, because Mania, whoever faces Brock, which is going to be now what we found out Seth Rollins on Monday night, and what we found out because he won the Royal Rumble and chose Brock Lesnar then, that Seth is in that category with Finn Balor. He's in the category with Daniel Bryan. Seth is going to be a guy who it's going to be the face, I believe. He's going to be the face of 2019. Seth Rollins has he has the it factor. It's almost all together. It's not all there. Almost. 99% Seth Rollins for me is a superstar.
So do you think Seth Rollins is going to take the belt from Lesnar at WrestleMania?
Well, I'm going to get into that shortly. Let's talk about the Rumble first. Let's talk about that men's Rumble.
All right.
Okay, I personally thought it was horrible. Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. Because, listen, and I went on the record a couple of times and stated that I like Royal Rumbles to, number one, not be so predictable. Okay, and number two, fill up. I want to see that ring fill up. I want to see, like, there could be more options than what I think to win that belt. To win the Rumble, rather. And I didn't see that. I think the most that was in the ring at one time, maybe 7 or 8 people. About 8 people, maybe. I don't know. But most of the time, it was like 4 or 5 or 6 guys. Or 5. For me, it's like, okay, this is supposed to be a Rumble, a Royal Rumble. Why isn't the ring getting, filled up? We have only a few guys in there. It looked like something that could have been done on Monday Night Raw. That's how I feel like. Now, Jeff Jarrett and Elias segment in the beginning was funny. The Double J coming out and getting mollywopped with that that guitar. That was great. Kurt Angle making a return, and again, he didn't last long because they're not trying to really put the spotlight on him because it's about other guys. But the Rumble itself, like, you had some good competitors in there. I thought Mustafa Ali, the dude held himself in that Rumble for a long time. Mm-hmm. So obviously, he's going to be somebody that WWE is probably trying to push this year as well. What do you think, though? Anything in particular caught you in the Rumble? Anything?
I think the greatest part of the Royal Rumble, the men's Royal Rumble, was Nia Jax.
Yeah. I gotta say that. Yeah.
I hate the fact that R-Truth, remember, like I said earlier, I was rooting for everyone who was black. And what happened to R-Truth? He gets beat up. He gets beat up real bad. He looked like a little kid compared to Nia Jax, right? And then Nia Jax comes out and didn't she no, that was in the women's Royal Rumble. She kicked Lana in the ankle. That was funny. Yeah. But then she comes out in the men's Royal Rumble. I really sat up like, oh, what's about to happen right now?
Yeah, I did the same.
And then, it was so good that the people cheered the first time she even just got hit by a dude.
Yeah.
It was
we don't see that anymore.
No, you don't.
And that, yeah. Well,
and not saying that. Now, I'm not chauvinist. I'm not saying it was great that a woman got hit. I'm just
beat your wife. He does not beat wives.
Right.
He may wear white beaters, but that's it.
I'm just saying that Nia Jax being in the men's Royal Rumble was so epic that even when she got hit that first time, everybody cheered. Oh, she got hit. Then when she got hit with the RKO,
oh, that was it.
It was that part was great.
Randy Orton's face was priceless.
That was a great the way he sat up and smiled, and Randy Orton, he does this thing with his tongue when he sits, so he go.
Hello, Cool J. Right?
Oh, but he only licks the bottom lip. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Why'd you notice that though?
Listen, I'm technical. I'm technically minded.
That's it.
This is what I see.
Okay, all right, that's it.
He RKO'd Nia Jax, right? That was the greatest part of the Rumble. I was excited. I, as a grown man, was excited at that point. I was excited when Nia Jax came in because I was like, yo, is she going to win? I was like, if she wins the men's Royal Rumble, oh my goodness. That's what I was thinking. Then when she got RKO'd, and who threw her out again? I don't remember.
Oh, man, I forgot. I forgot. I know Rey Mysterio gave it a 619.
Right. Rey Mysterio gave it a 619. One of the commentators was like, that's not right. That is not right. Like, it was that whole setup, that whole segment right there was great. Kudos to WWE writers, whoever did that. That's 2 thumbs up for me. That was the highlight of the Men's Royal Rumble besides the Jeff Jarrett and Elias segment. Other than that, it was very mediocre.
Yeah.
I was kind of watching like, it doesn't compare to the Women's Royal Rumble.
No.
It was very mediocre. Those 2 segments were the greatest. I give it maybe 1 thumb up, 1 thumb down.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I give him this right here. The one you get the half, the 1 thumb. Okay, but the thing is, when you look at it, you're right. It was mediocre. It reminded me a little bit of the 2002 Rumble because back in 2002 it was the same amount of guys usually in the ring. It was everybody's going out, and at the end Triple H, he made his return. He won the match. The only thing I could say about it was, I did like the little outside segments that Bobby Lashley was going nuts because he got eliminated. Through Seth Rollins, I believe he beat the hell. Somebody threw Seth through the table. I think it was Lashley.
It was Lashley.
Yeah, Lashley threw Seth through the table. That was great. Seth was outside.
With the greatest of ease, by the way. He threw him with the greatest of ease. He one-handed him through the table, and he did it with authority. It wasn't like one of those when Seth Rollins jumps into you and holds you.
You gotta see, the guy has muscles on top of muscles. The guy's like, oh, what's that? Is that your pec? No, it's the pec. It's a pec. My man's like, pec right here. He's a pec deck right here. And it's just, the dude is brolic, okay? Straightforward. So, yeah, he didn't just lift somebody with one hand. And that's why I said Lashley and Lesnar would be a phenomenal idea for Mania. But if Finn would have won that title, then Lesnar could have did something else and then drifted away into UFC after Mania. But, we have what we have right now. He's still retained. And now Seth Rollins winning the Rumble. Wow, came down. I did like the follow up on your point with Nia Jax. I love that whole segment. I loved everything that happened with Nia because you know what? We don't see that anymore. That was Attitude Era-esque of the WWE. And this is what I think they're trying to do. They're trying to incorporate more edgier material into the product because they know people are not happy. They know that they have competition that's brewing right now behind the scenes with AEW. So they got to do something. They got to do something to keep the fans that they have. And to keep the talent that they have, too. Because talent are looking elsewhere as well. So, yeah, this is why they're doing things like that. But ultimately, it came down to Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins. And I thought the match that they had was also great. I at that point, I didn't know. I said, wow, it's Braun and Seth. Maybe they could just have Braun. Ultimately, that was a whole storyline with him and McMahon. You're out of the Rumble. You're out of your match. Now he goes in the Rumble, wins it to face Lesnar. That would have happened had this been WWE last year. But I think because they know what we want now, this is why Seth won that Rumble.
I agree. Yeah, I definitely agree. I think Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar, though, is also a good match. Because even though Seth Rollins is smaller, it's weird. He's like a big small guy.
Yeah.
and he's fought like bigger people. Like he's fought Drew McIntyre and beat him. He's probably gonna have like a little rivalry with Bobby Lashley now.
Yeah, and probably at the Chamber,
right? And beat him, and it's just gonna build up. However, I don't want it to build up to that, and then it fizzles out. Like, if it's gonna build up, make it
worth it.
I don't want to contradict myself. I think Brock Lesnar should try to dominate, but I think Seth Rollins is one of those guys who you really can't dominate as much because just like, I think it was 2014 with him and John Cena, the triple threat match, when he tried to suplex him, he landed on his feet.
Yeah, the agility of Seth.
Right. I feel like Brock Lesnar can be himself and Seth Rollins can use his agility and that match could really work.
Yeah. If
they're really themselves. I don't feel like Brock Lesnar has to sell so much with Seth Rollins.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I don't think he does. Like, because it looks like with Seth, they're building Seth up even more now.
Right.
So like the Beast actually getting beaten, or like Seth mounting some offense to him in the match is not going to seem unrealistic.
Right.
It's gonna be like, okay, this is gonna feel okay. It can happen. It can seem believable. Because the way I see that they're building Seth, and Seth is going to have that time. If it stays that way, because you never know anymore. If it stays Seth and Lesnar, Seth is 100% winning that title, and that's who they're going with in 2019. WWE is going to ride behind Seth Rollins. That's what I believe, and that's what should happen. He should be the guy, because he is the guy, honestly, especially on Monday Night Raw. I mean, yeah, you have Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles doing probably the best work they've ever done. So I think, they hold it down for SmackDown. But Rollins is really in that, especially now Dean Ambrose is leaving, and it's official. Okay, Roman's going to come back eventually, but I mean, who else do you have? Lesnar's a part-time champion. He's going off to UFC. So now you have Lashley.
Hold up.
Yep.
He's not part-time. He's per diem.
Thank you. Thank you for correcting.
Part-time, you got to be there 6 months.
Verify this.
6 months of Mondays. He's not there for 6 months of Mondays.
No, he's there 6 Mondays in a year. So this is exactly what we're talking about. But overall, the Royal Rumble in my eyes, it was a pretty damn good Rumble. I'm not even going to take, and it wasn't even because you had some bad points. Of course, you're going to have some down points. The tag team match, the fact that Becky tapped out, okay, and the men's Royal Rumble. Okay, and that weird AJ Styles Daniel Bryan match at points. But if you look at all the positives, I think it outweighs the negatives more. Because especially that Sasha Ronda match, the Becky Asuka match was good. It was really good. The women's Rumble was great. I thought it was phenomenal. Finn and Lesnar I liked. And I liked the men's Rumble halfway. So it wasn't completely horrible. So I think it was more good than bad. What do you think overall?
I think it was.
And be honest. You can be honest.
I say half and half. That squiggle. I'm sorry.
He's still stuck in the squiggle. I can't get past the squiggle. Oh my God, flopping like a fish.
I cannot get past a wrestler going like this on live TV, and they catch it on camera to get into your spot. Come on, man. You gotta do better than that.
I know.
If I was Triple H, I would really tear into them. You cannot be squiggling to your spot. Yeah. You never seen Triple H, Shawn Michaels, or anyone from old.
No, and if the guy missed, he missed. That was it. That was the end of the road. And basically.
Overall, I say half and half. I think, like you said, it had its good points, it had its bad points, but at the same time, we're not looking for perfection.
No. And we're not going to find it right now, anyway, especially.
Right. I think that there's some things they can improve on, of course, but I think there's some things that they got super right. Seth Rollins winning the Rumble was pretty good. Oh, before I forget.
Yeah.
What the heck is up with Titus O'Neil? Why is he even there? This dude is a big dude. I feel like he would be a good person to fight Brock Lesnar as well. But
if they build him, I mean, they're not giving a lot of guys. This is another reason. I don't mean to cut you off, but this is another reason why I'm talking about there's a lot of people unhappy because they're not being booked right. They're not happy with creative.
Apollo Crews is another one.
Yeah, Apollo Crews for sure, man. That guy he's very athletic, man.
Titus O'Neil, I thought he was gonna come. I was like, this is his moment. Which he has moments where he comes in, he dominates, and then he fizzles out. Like I keep saying, goes into nothing. This time he's using the meme of him, tripping into the bottom of the ring as a storyline. So he comes out during the Rumble, he runs, he stops, he looks at everybody, he says yes. Then there's a wrestler hiding. He goes under the ring. He was so forgotten that I don't remember him being eliminated at all. When Seth Rollins was in there with Braun Strowman and they was like, Seth Rollins wins! Seth Rollins wins! I was like, wait a second, Titus O'Neil. Where's Titus O'Neil? Maybe Titus O'Neil's going to win. And he didn't come out. I don't know if he got eliminated to this day. I never seen him get eliminated, but I feel like he deserves a push. There's some people who say, there was some video that circulated before where Titus O'Neil got into a little pushing match with Vince McMahon. Yeah, and after that, he hasn't gotten a push at all.
Well, that could be it.
He couldn't get a push now if he was on the swing. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, he's tight. He's a big dude. I've seen him take people and just throw them. You know what I mean?
But you know what I noticed though? Titus O'Neil he's been in the background, like at a lot of WWE functions. With youth and everything like that, promoting not only WWE but certain different things with the cancer, and he's been a part of that team. But you're right, Titus is if booked right, he's a huge dude. You know what I'm saying? He could be a main event competitor. So just by his size alone honestly, and he's not that bad in the ring. I do think that he does need to brush up on the whole, definitely on his microphone skills. I do think, and maybe develop his gimmick a little more. But I think that, Titus would be good if he can smooth out those edges and they book him right. Now, Apollo Crews, on the other hand, I feel like they booked him horrible. If you want to talk, like, let's call a spade a spade. Let's be real here. Do you feel that, at times African Americans are not pushed the way they're supposed to be pushed? I know this could be a whole conversation for a whole episode.
That's a good question. I rooted for everyone who was black, and no one who was black won, people. Not one. Naomi came in. She didn't even dance.
Naomi's another athletic.
She didn't even dance. She got eliminated. Ember Moon got beat up the whole time. Got eliminated. What's this dude? Apollo Crews, right? Got eliminated the same exact way he got eliminated last year. At the same number, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that. But Titus O'Neil, he goes into the Royal Rumble the same way he went in last year.
It's a world slide.
It's ridiculous. Like what's going on here? I mean, we won't get into that, like the whole race thing. I don't want to be one of those. I'm joking for the most part, but I do think that I don't know if they don't get the push or if they just are comfortable. I'm not sure, honestly, because I know Vince McMahon did an interview on Stone Cold's podcast and he was saying like they don't really want it the way they used to. But then I noticed there are a lot of black athletes that are very talented and they don't get the push, and it's not about becoming champion, right? I think it was Ronda Rousey who said recently that Roddy Piper's son told her it's not about the championships. It's never about the championships. It's about the legacy from the stories you've had. I don't even feel like the black athletes have good storylines for the most part.
I mean, other than Sasha, because
Sasha Banks, yes, she's legit. I mean, she's legit, but she's light skinned.
So now we're being more specific demographic. Dark skin African Americans. Do not get it on.
I don't know. Look, who really knows if they? I personally feel like they don't get the push they deserve. I feel like Ember Moon and Naomi definitely needs to be in the title hunt. I feel like Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews definitely needs to be in there, and I mean, if you listen to African American wrestlers from old, they've spoken about it. I can't call it because I'm not there. Yeah. Right, Ron Simmons, Booker T. Yeah. I can't call it, but I do see that trend that, hey, like these people are not getting the push unless you're Samoan.
Samoan's like the other blacks. Right? No, but all kidding aside, seriously, like, it's been stated, Mark Henry had his little time, but he should have had more. He was there since '96. Booker T is a phenomenal athlete. I think probably one of the best African American athletes of all time in wrestling.
This dude was a beast. Yeah. This dude, I remember when he was fighting Stone Cold one time, and I was like, look at the size difference between these two. Now, I looked at everybody look at Stone Cold, the toughest SOB of all time and all of that stuff. And then when Booker T came around, I was like, this dude is like 3 times Stone Cold's size. Like, I remember when he first came from WCW, he threw Booker T into the table like he was a piece of lunch meat. He threw Stone Cold into the table like Stone Cold was a piece of lunch meat. And I was like, this dude, I didn't realize how strong and big this guy was. And this guy, he's very athletic. Yeah. Like, this guy was amazing on the mic. His storylines were amazing. Yeah. He left me on the edge of my seat, no matter who he was with. When he had the storyline with Stone Cold, when he had the storyline with
remember Goldust?
Goldust was the greatest.
That was funny.
When he had if there's kids watching, look this stuff up. It's hilarious. When he had the storyline with even The Rock.
The Rock, the bookend and the Rock bottom. Right, that was great. I love that.
That was amazing. That. I mean, and he only won one title?
Yeah,
in WWE.
Maybe the tag team
and he was King of the Ring once, and I think he won one title.
King Baka.
And he won one, like a tag team title, I think. Yeah. And then all of a sudden he dropped off of the face of the earth. I'm like, what the heck is going on? This is Booker T.
That's what I'm saying. And that's why this comes down to this. And I don't even think, honestly, maybe it could be, just somebody back there like not happy with African Americans for some reason. They don't want to push them. You could think that, but let's be realistic here. We're talking about the WWE creative. How many times has the WWE creative dropped the ball? A lot, honestly, a lot with a lot of people. It doesn't matter who you are. I realize, but if you really look at it, like they drop the ball a ton of times. So it could be that, or it could be the fact that they just suck at some of the storylines and the way they're booking these people.
I agree.
It's definitely whoever's booking it. Back in the day, it was different. You had like 3 guys booking it. Nowadays, and you know what I think we should do? I think next week's episode we should talk about the booking. I think we should talk about that and probably a couple other things. But that's definitely a topic that we need to talk about because we could sit here for days, for years, and actually discuss what's going on with the booking and why things are being done on our opinions. But to sum up the Rumble, because I know we segued a little bit, to sum up the Rumble, overall it was solid, but I want to see where they're going with this now with Seth Rollins. And this brings up the last point that we're going to talk about today. It's the unification. And some of you thinking like, what the hell are you talking about, Jimmy? Well, I'm going to explain this. You have a Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion and a Raw and SmackDown Men's Champion. Why? Why? There's just one question. Why? Does it make sense? Breez, please enlighten me on your thoughts that does it make sense to have 2 champions, to consider world champions, when I think personally the brand split should just be abolished and they should just have one brand altogether, just WWE, that's it. Raw, SmackDown, everybody's on both shows and one world champion. Okay, or I don't know, what are your thoughts on this whole situation with this, with multiple titles, all these titles?
Well, I think iron sharpens iron. I think that they have internal competitions. Yeah. Because no one can compete with WWE. Even with AEW coming. Yeah. All Elite Wrestling. Booker T said it. You can't compete with them. It's a wheel. It's a monster now. WWE. They got their own indie. It's almost self-sustaining. There's no one that can come and take that from them unless they take all of their wrestlers. That's true. So that's not gonna happen. So I think that's my personal opinion. I think that's one of the reasons why they have the Raw brand and the SmackDown brand
to give themselves competition.
Right. And Paul Heyman gave a little story at one point where he was supposed to help SmackDown become better, but Raw was always called the A Show. So he started calling SmackDown the A Show, and he got backlash for that. Yeah. But the point was he was really competing. Right? Yeah, that's what it was about. Right, yeah. That's what it was about. I think that's the reason why they do it. I think also when you have something to compare and contrast to, people will talk more about what's better. If it's just one thing, there's nothing to really
discuss about. Right. Well, yeah,
you can't compare it to nothing.
Okay, so here's the thing now. Now you do. Now you have AEW coming in, and probably going to be way better than WCW was. Mm-hmm. So you're going to keep the brand split, or you're going to have your own organization as a whole, as it should be, and especially since this, you made one point you could bring out, like I believe you told me before, was that there's too many athletes. It's oversaturated. What are you going to do with everybody that's not fighting for titles? What happened to the good old-fashioned grudge matches? What happened to tag team divisions? Okay, what happened to these matches? Okay. They're gone. They're overshadowed by Hell in a Cells, TLCs, and all these other stipulation matches. You need to bring that back. You need to go back to the roots. And especially since people are unhappy with creative, and now they're going to be jumping ship to the AEW. I'm pretty damn sure Dean Ambrose, hasn't stated where he's going, but after April, after Mania, it's just in time for that AEW pay-per-view in May 25th. What happens? We see Dean Ambrose on that. That's just going to be the beginning. And it reminds me of WCW in '96 when Hall and Nash left because they were unhappy and they were getting more money from WCW and they jumped ship. And then the NWO was formed. And that's when the wars began. And that's what I feel like is going to happen again.
But those were the greatest times of wrestling ever.
Yeah, and athletes that, we don't really have like that. And you really can't compare a lot of people to the athletes that were there at that time.
WWE, which was WWF at the time, right? Get the F out. Remember that, y'all? Anyway, that was a saying, by the way. I'm not just saying get the F out of here. Get the F out was a shirt that WWE, because I don't curse. Get the F out was something that WWE had on their shirt to let everybody know that they have to say WWE now. But anyway, a little history lesson. So basically, that was the best time in wrestling. Like, the ratings were going down for WWE, I remember. WCW was kicking WWE's butt.
Yeah.
But the most outrageous things was happening on WWE at that time.
Yeah, it's true.
They were doing whatever they wanted to do. And those are the things that we look at now and we're like, yo, remember this? This was a classic. And da-da-da. So even though, you know, adversity breeds character. Like, even though WWE was getting their behinds whooped in the ratings war, they were doing some classic things. Like the TLC came during the ratings war. The first one.
Yeah, I remember that.
Right?
I remember it was, no, actually, the first TLC was SummerSlam 2000, but that was on the end of, like, everything with WWE, where they already practically won at that point, because it was only months later where WCW went out of business. Well, yeah, you're right. That was during that time period still. They were killing them. By the time TLC came out, they was demolished.
They grabbed the Y2J. They grabbed Chris Jericho from WCW, which was one of the greatest pickups of all time. Like stuff like that. Yeah. Like doing edgy things and doing edgy things don't happen when you're safe. So they were edgier, they were willing to take more risks, they were willing to do whatever it took to win the ratings war. Yeah,
because it was competition. Right. And like I said, it breeds excellence. You said the same thing. So with that being said, you know, now you're gonna look at it, it's 2019, we have another organization forming. Yet they have zero history, so they have to still build their brand. But, you know, this is something that the WWE is looking at. And this is why I feel like they're trying to give everybody, you know, pretty much put everybody on notice. Okay, like, listen, we're going to give you more money. They want people to stay because they know what's coming. They see those storm clouds starting to form. They know the storm is upon them. Okay, they know it's going to get crazy. Okay, and this is why I'm telling you, back to what we were talking about originally, those titles. They have to do that. I feel like they have to unify the championships at this point. You want it to be one world champion on both, for the women's division and for the men's. Okay, because you'll have a lot of athletes, but at the same time they're going to be losing people. It's 100% they're going to be losing people, and they need to bring everybody together. Everybody needs to be together at this point because it's a war. It's going to be an indirect war. Not yet. People may say you're out of your mind, but I guarantee you, 4 years from now, you're going to look back and you're going to say, I remember that crazy bastard Jimmy J said it's going to be a war, okay, between AEW and WWE, and guess what? He was right. No, I'm sorry, Breez. No, I don't know the lotto numbers. I don't, because if I did, I would not be sitting here talking to you guys at the very moment. I mean, I'll be sitting somewhere else, maybe in a professional office or studio talking to you. But it's fine. It doesn't matter. I can still babble. It doesn't matter how much money. It's not about the money. Okay, it's about the fact that I love what I do, and he loves what he does as well. But we're getting on to other things here. Breez, sum it up right here. Royal Rumble, 2 thumbs up?
1 thumb up.
1 thumb up. Okay, he got mine 1 thumb up as well. I can't give it 2 thumbs up altogether because we had some negative things. And title unification, yay or nay for those title unifications?
I say, yay!
Yay it is! That's it. That's what we need to do. Titles need to be unified. There's a lot coming up. Guys, this has been, and I really appreciate you guys tuning into this. If you like what you see here, please subscribe below. Take It Home TV. You can follow me on the IG and the IGTV at Take It Home TV. And on Twitter, don't stalk me, okay? Follow me. At JHAGG719 on the Twitter. What about you, Breez? You want to give out some info?
No, I do not.
No, negative.
Follow this guy.
Follow me, and through me you can get through him, and through him you can get to the Holy Spirit, because I'm telling you, amen. That's what we're talking about here. Pro wrestling, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks with the second edition of Bookin the Biz with Breez. Sorry, my mind is shot. We've been talking about the Rumble all day, and I'm just baffled about some things that happened and transpired. But either way, Bookin the Biz with Breez has been successful. I really like it. I don't know. What do you think? We're going to be fixing the setup a little bit here and there, too. I got some other things coming for you guys on the table, and just fill this place in a little more, make it a little more cozy for you guys. But I appreciate you tuning in. Bell ringers, I will see you this weekend. Take It Home TV, baby. We're out of here.